Hello, today is the last day of March, and so I am going to share our budget report for March 2023. This is where I show you the actual numbers, what we actually spent for every category in our budget. I'll show you what it looks like in real time. I am Brittany Flammer. I am a financial coach, and here on my YouTube channel, I share videos all about budgeting and money saving tips for you and for your family. Today I am doing this live for a couple of reasons. One, because I wanted, when I film my videos, I usually script and I cut out so much stuff to try to keep them short and concise. It takes a lot of time to edit. So this is more convenient for me because we're going out of town, but also because I want it to be a little bit more authentic and so that you can ask questions if you have any questions about our budget or if you want any more specific details. So if you have questions, feel free to type questions in the comments. If you aren't watching here live, if you're watching the recording, I still follow up and try to answer every single question and every single comment. So feel free to type them in even if you are watching this late. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen. I like to do our budget in a spreadsheet because that's what I like. There's no right or wrong way, but I like to do it in a spreadsheet, and I am going to share that with you. You can grab my template if you're interested for a few dollars. It's $5, but it's on sale right now for three something. So you're welcome to grab that. There's a link in the description box down below. Now I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I hope that you can see everything. If you have a hard time seeing anything, type a comment. Let me know. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Here is my spreadsheet, and let's start with income because you have to have the income to budget. So my husband is our main income provider. He's the breadwinner, and he is a teacher, so he's salary, which makes budgeting a lot easier. Most of our married life, we have been inconsistent income, not knowing what to expect, but now he is salary. So he got paid exactly what we thought he was going to make, which is great. The LLC, this is my business. I make money doing financial coaching as well as selling budgeting products on Etsy, as well as some ads for here on YouTube. And so this is what I made. This is like my take home pay. So I set aside some money for taxes, but this is what I actually took home. Now, the reason I didn't budget anything at the beginning of the month for this is because we try to live off of my husband's income, and then anything I make, we put towards our mortgage to pay off our mortgage sooner. So I didn't budget anything, but I took home 412, which is so exciting for me. Um, Interest, we earned $181. This is because we have a lot of money in online savings account. Our emergency fund is an online savings account, and online savings accounts are also known as high yield savings accounts. They're accounts that are at banks that are usually all online, so they pay a much higher interest rate. Like if you go to your local bank, it's like 0.01% interest is what you'll earn. But if you go to the online savings accounts, I have some that are earning 4% interest. So it's not a ton, but our emergency fund, we want access to, but I might as well earn a little bit of interest on it. So it's in an online savings account, as well as we have a lot of money in an account. It's the money that we want to use in the next couple of years. So we're taking a big family trip this year, as well as we are adding a garage to our house. So we've got the cash for that. So we're earning a lot of interest, almost $200 in interest. So that's why we have so much in interest. Once we build our garage, we won't be earning that much. And then also we got a tax return. Now, I would love to know in the comments down below, let me know if you get a refund or if you have to pay taxes. Um, we, the goal with taxes is that you should break even. You should get as much taken out of your taxes as you need to, so that when it comes time for taxes, tax season, April 15th, you don't owe the government anything and they don't owe you anything. That's like the goal. I like to err on the side of caution. I would much rather get a refund than have to pay taxes. But this is a huge amount. We got over $12,000 back in refund. That's a lot more than normal. we probably should go in and adjust my husband's withholding. So he gets taxes taken out of his paycheck. So we should probably go in and adjust that. But we also, this was my first year being 100% self-employed. I was teaching online, and so I was earning more. Now it's just what I earn from my business. So I didn't earn as much as I have in the past. And so we ended up getting a huge refund, which I'm not going to complain. We probably should adjust things. But I would love to know if you guys usually get a refund or if you have to pay. Because we usually do get a refund, just not generally that large. So our total income was 17,622, and I didn't budget our tax return at the beginning of the month because I didn't know when we would get it. I wasn't sure if we would get it in March or if it wouldn't come till April, but it did come in March. So now I will show you all of our expenses, and I will show you what we did with our tax return. First of all, tithing, we just pay 10% on our gross income. So I made more money, so we paid on that. But then also some of our tax return, a lot of it was taxes that we had paid. So I've already paid tithing on that, but some of it was credits. So like the child tax credit. That was money that we haven't paid. So I paid tithing on that as well. So it ended up being 995 that we paid. Our mortgage is fixed, automatically paid. So we paid exactly what we planned at 1332. Our electricity, it was higher than expected. We do have solar panels, so it should be a lot lower than this, but we did not bank enough solar in the summer to cover us all the way through winter. And it's been a crazy winter here. It's March 31st, and we woke up to 4 inches of snow this morning. So we have not gotten very much solar. We probably should add a couple of more panels. Depending on how much our garage ends up costing, we might add a couple more panels. And our natural gas, this bill, we pay an average. So it's the exact same every month for 12 months. And then at the end of the 12 months, they readjust it. So we always pay the same. So we know what to expect, which is really nice. Our water and sewer, this is our city bill. And they have not been able to read meters for the last 4 months because they've been covered in snow. So we've had the exact same bill for the past 4 months. So I think next month, once they can finally start reading the meters, it will probably be adjusted. So I have no idea what to expect. But this month we've just paid the same as what we've been paying. My life insurance, this is for me, it's term life insurance. We paid the same amount every month. So that was exact. Our car insurance, I know a lot of people pay their car insurance every 6 months. Our company lets us pay monthly, and it's the same price. So I do it monthly. Let me know in the comments if you pay monthly or if it's every 6 months, how your insurance does it. But it does change a few dollars every month. I don't know why, but this month it was 97, but it averages out to be about $90. Our phone bill is fixed at $30, which is really low compared to most. This is for our cell phones. We have a family member that has the great plan, and she just added us to her lines because it's just my husband and I. So we just pay her what it was to add. So that's really cheap. Our internet's fixed, $62 a month. Gas for our cars, $247.95. I'd love to know what the price of gas is where you are. It went way up for us. It was almost $5. Now we're down to I think it's $3.85-ish around there per gallon. We spent almost $250, so we stayed really close to our budget, but our 2 vehicles that we drive the most are more than half full. So that's great for April. I'm hoping that we can stick to our budget. Now, here is an expense that I do not normally have. We had a dental bill, and so I had to pay a dental bill of over $2,000. This was a little bit unexpected. Let me pop on to explain this. So we have a flex spending account, which means we have money taken out of our paycheck before we get paid. Money's taken out and put to our flex spending, which we have a debit card for that. So we use that debit card to pay for all of our medical expenses. And we figured out at the beginning of the year, we figured out all the medical expenses we know we'll have. And we try to guess and make sure we have enough on that debit card in our flex spending account to pay for all of our medical expenses. I ended up having to have a tooth extracted, and I'm getting in the process of getting an implant. So I have a lovely, you can see I have a hole right there. It's like a almost a year-long process. They gave me a quote because I was debating doing a bridge or an implant. They gave me a quote, and the quote was for under two. It was like $1,200 or something like that. I was like, "Oh yeah, for sure, we'll do the implant." Um, and then come to find out that $1,200 bill was just for the extraction. So they've now given me a quote on the rest. And I've done everything except get the crown implanted. So I still have a little bit more that I'll have to pay this summer when they do the crown and implant. So it's overall going to total over $4,000. And we do not have $4,000 left in our flex spending. So we used up everything that was in our flex spending. And then we had this, we had a kid had a cavity. One of our kids had to get teeth sealed, stuff that just wasn't covered. So we've had a lot of dental expenses, and we're not quite done paying for it. So we finished up what was in our flex spending account, and we had to pay this 2,269. It would have had to come out of somewhere. If we didn't have any money, we'd have pulled it out of our emergency fund. But since we got the tax refund, we had a ton in our checking account. So we just paid it from our checking account. But I have started a medical sinking fund because I haven't paid for the crown. I'll still have to pay for the crown. And one of our kids needs contacts. We'll have a few more medical expenses. And we are on the school, our insurance is not the calendar year, it's the school year. So we just have to go through August. But that's an unusual expense for us. Piano, we paid 100, that's fixed for the month. Preschool, we paid 100, that's also fixed. So our total fixed expenses was 5,500. So we went over 2,400 for the month, pretty much because of the dental bill. But now let's talk about fixed expenses versus variable expenses. All of these expenses, these fixed expenses, are ones that are pretty consistent. They're fixed. They change a little bit month to month, but they're pretty consistent, and I'm going to pay them no matter what. Then the variable expenses, we have a lot more control over. Like I can control what kind of food we eat, how often we eat out. I can control what we do for dates, how many babysitters we get. Like I have control over those things. So I like to keep them separate. For groceries, I had 677 budgeted, and then I spent 900. So ideally, it is best to categorize these when you spend the money. Like to separate how much you spend on groceries versus eating out versus babysitting. I lump it all together because when I go to somewhere like Sam's Club or Walmart, I spend stuff from all different categories, and I'm too lazy to separate it and to do the math and to figure it out. So I just lump it all together. So my total budget for the month was $802. I divide it into weeks, but March had 5 weeks. And at the beginning of the month, I didn't think about this. I was thinking, oh, I'll have $200 a week, which is great. But it has 5 weeks. So I ended up only having 160. So I did go over, and I knew that as I was spending, and I just didn't care. So I went over. So I ended up spending $900. And today is the last day of the month. It's not over. We are eating out. We're getting some Little Caesars for our family, and I have accounted for that already. So I went over $98, and that's what happens sometimes. But it'll work out. Debts, all we have is our mortgage, so I don't deal with that here. But our sinking funds, our emergency fund, I didn't budget anything. I did put 50 in. This is, like I said, it's in an online savings account. And so it earns interest, and it earned $50 in interest. And since it is the last day, we don't get paid till like end of business day. So I'm guessing it might be off by $1 or so, but our balance there, we haven't used anything. We just let that interest accumulate in the account. So we're at 15,488 currently. Then if you're interested in online savings account, I have a video on my favorite that are best overall. I think there is a link in the description box. If not, I will add it here into the chat box. My husband's personal money, we budgeted 50, put 50 in. He spent almost $14. I think he bought a bunch of sugar-coated cereal for treats one day because I didn't buy any at the grocery store and he wanted them. So he's at 1,734. Life insurance, this is my husband's. We pay it annually because it's cheaper, but it works out to be $69 a month. So every month we budget 69, we put 69 in so that come fall when we have to pay, we'll have the full amount. So we have 345 in there now. House maintenance, we budgeted 25. I did not put any in because this used to be an automatic payment. It's no longer automatic. And when I was going to go add money, I realized we were out of money, so I didn't put anything in. But we did spend 1,344. We spent a lot of things. One, we do have our yard treated. It gets 4 treatments throughout the summer. And we prepaid for that because it was it was a 10% discount if we prepaid. So we paid for that. My husband bought a few tools and some wood for, I don't even remember what project. We also bought a battery jumper so we can jump a vehicle and charge things, and that has already come in useful. And so it just miscellaneous stuff that comes up. So we spent quite a bit. So we're down to 1,083 in that account, which is lower than I would like it to be, but we don't have any major stuff that we think needs to come up. So that should be enough for anything. Vacation, I budgeted 350, but then we ended up putting 2,400 in here. This is because we got that tax refund, so we put a bunch in so that our vacation fund would be fully funded. And we did spend almost $1,000. This was only for passports. For all 5 of our kids needed passports, and my husband's needed to be renewed. So we spent a ton of money. We're just under 4,000, which this will be enough to cover. We're doing an international trip with our entire family. We still have a few things we'll have to pay for that, and everything we're doing this summer. That should cover that. But my husband and I are also taking a big trip in the fall, so I need to start saving more for that. House updates, we didn't budget anything, but because of the tax refund, we put 5,000 in. So we are at 43,728, and this should be enough to do everything we need to do with our garage that we're going to build. Our extra mortgage payment, I budgeted 150. But we actually put 562 in. We put the 150 plus everything I earned. But we spent 100, we put 1512 towards our mortgage. That's like 2 months worth of principal. So I'm so excited about that. So we have 239 left in our online savings account. If you have questions of why I put that in an online savings account, we used to have to pay a fee every time we made an extra payment for our mortgage. We got everything online. We don't have to pay a fee anymore. So I used to have to pay a fee, and rather than pay a fee every month, I just let it sit in an online savings account where I was earning some interest, and then every few months I would make an extra payment. Now we don't have to pay a fee, so I could just pay a little bit every month. But we earn more interest in our online savings account than we do on the interest in our mortgage. So our interest on our mortgage is like 2%. On our online savings account, we're earning 4%. So I just keep it in our online savings account until we have enough to make a full month's worth of payment, if that makes sense. And then LLC taxes. So this is for my business. I set aside 15% of everything I make for taxes. I have now moved that separate from our personal savings. I moved all my business stuff to a separate account. So I'm actually going to delete this right there. Clothing, we budgeted 50 and I put 200 into it. We had so much from our tax refund. But I also spent 300. We got a new suit for one of my sons, new church clothes for all of my kids, and some summer and spring clothes at a consignment sale. So I used everything in that account. And then I think I had to pull a few dollars out of our vacation because I'd spent so much. So we're down to 0 there now. Gifts, I budgeted 25. We put 25 in. So we're at 75 now. Car expenses, budgeted 75. I put 75 in, did spend 182. We had to register all 3 of our vehicles this month. And so we're down to 844, and we still need to do an oil change in one of the vehicles, but it is expensive. Usually our van is our nicest vehicle, and usually we do it at the dealership. Usually we get a coupon. So it's like $60 or $70, but they run like the full diagnostic. So for us, it's worth it. But we didn't have anything. It was like $110. So my husband's like, for that price, I'll change it myself. So we haven't done that yet. And we do need to replace the tires. And I just got a quote and it'll be around $900 for the tires we want to get. So we should have enough by fall in our account to do that. Christmas, we didn't budget anything, but we put 1,000 in. This should pretty much cover most of Christmas for us. Um, so we have $1,000 there. Kids extracurricular budgeted 50, but then put 1,550 thanks to the tax refund. But we spent 1,208. We bought a season ski pass this last year for Christmas. We gave our kids a season ski pass, our whole family, and we've really liked it. So we bought another one for next year, but it's cheaper. Cheapest now is the cheapest time to buy it for next year. So I just bought it for next year. So we'll have the season ski pass. So it won't come out of our Christmas, but probably for Christmas, our kids will be getting whatever used skis and boards we can find. So we have 382 in there. And then Roth IRA, we budgeted 275. This is my Roth IRA in my name. We put 275 in, and then I don't track this because it's invested. But this means our total money out was 17,669. So I went over $46. So what I could do is I could adjust this and maybe take the $46 out of our car expense fund, but I keep a buffer in our checking account. So I am not too worried about it. I keep a buffer of like $500 to $1,000. So $45 is not going to kill us. So I'm not going to worry about that. Star Blazers, you need to budget. Yes, we all need to budget. Yes, I can provide a copy. In the description box down below is a link to my budget template. I can grab it actually right now. And also, here is, I do budget coaching. So if you need help getting started on your budget, I do a free consultation. I'm typing that in the comments. So you're welcome to schedule a free consultation too if you need help. But let me go ahead and grab the link for my budget template if anyone's interested in that. Like I said, it's normally $5, but it is on sale right now for 3 something. I can't remember the exact price. It's 15 or 20% off right now. Let me grab that. Does anyone have any other questions while I'm doing that? Okay, here is a link for my budget template. Anyway, I do a budget video at the beginning of every month. I show you, is this the beginning for you? I do a budget at the beginning of the month, and then at the end of the month, I show you what we actually spent. And it's not perfect. It's never perfect, right? But it keeps me focused, keeps me on track, keeps me seeing where we're spending our money, what changes we need to make for the future. And it is one of like the core principles of being financially successful. Okay, here's a comment. We also saved our refund for long-term expenses. Ended up having to use some for a pretty large car repair expense, but thankful to have that savings. Yes, I know whenever you have a windfall or a big chunk of money, you just want to go spend it on something fun. And there's nothing wrong with spending money on fun stuff. We usually spend a little bit when we get a chunk of money. We usually spend a little bit of it on fun stuff, and then we try to put the bulk of it towards savings, whether it's your emergency fund or investments, or for us, as you saw in the budget, we put a lot towards our house upgrades that we want and vacation. So that's stuff that we want, but we're not just going out and spending it all right away. So congrats on getting the refund. That's awesome. I'd love to know from other people whether you have a refund or if you have to pay. If you have any other questions, let me know in the comments. I do my best to answer them. Otherwise, I hope you're subscribed and hit the bell to get notified with my new videos. I have a bunch of videos coming out on some online savings accounts and budgeting app tutorials. So if you have anything specific you'd like, always just leave a comment and I'm happy to answer them. Thanks so much for being here. Hope you have a great day and a great month for April. Thanks so much.